Before we begin, tell me which country you're watching from. I love seeing how far our stories reach around the world. And if you enjoy seeing Karens learn the hard way, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss the next one. Now, let's get into today's story. Screaming Karen takes my airplane seat, but she didn't expect what happened next. It started like any other flight day, a long line at security, tired travelers, and the faint smell of burnt coffee drifting through the terminal. I had just wrapped up a long week of work overseas and was heading home to surprise my wife and kids. I'd spent a little extra to upgrade to first-class seat, not for luxury, but because of my bad back from an old injury. When I got to my gate, everything seemed calm. The boarding process started, and I waited patiently for my group to be called. But as soon as I stepped into the cabin, I noticed something was off. My seat, 2A, was already taken. There she was, a woman, probably in her late 40s, sitting comfortably with her shoes off, scrolling through her phone like she owned the place. She had that smug look that said she was used to getting what she wanted. You know the type. Expensive purse, loud voice, and zero awareness of anyone around her. At first, I thought it was an honest mistake. Maybe she misread her ticket. But when I double-checked the seat number above her, my stomach sank. It was definitely mine. The flight attendant noticed the confusion and came over to help. That's when things took a sharp turn. The woman suddenly snapped. She started yelling that she deserved the seat more than me because she was a mother and needed space. The entire cabin went silent. People were staring, some even pulled out their phones. I could feel my face getting hot, not from embarrassment, but from disbelief. The flight attendant politely asked her to show her ticket, but the woman refused. She crossed her arms and declared she wasn't moving. The staff stepped aside for a moment to confirm the seating chart. I stood quietly, watching the situation spiral. Karen, as I'll call her, began to make a scene claiming I was harassing her and that she'd report me to airport security. When the attendant came back and explained that the seat did in fact belong to me, Karen let out a dramatic sigh, saying she had a medical condition that required her to sit in first class. It was all a lie, but she was committed. Finally, the pilot came out. The crowd hushed as he calmly explained that she could either move to her assigned seat or leave the plane. That's when she made the mistake that changed everything. She tried to pull rank. She loudly claimed she was friends with the airline manager and that she'd have everyone fired. But the pilot didn't even flinch. He simply nodded to the gate agents and asked them to escort her off the plane. The moment the words "remove her from the aircraft" left his mouth, Karen completely lost it. She began screaming about discrimination, her voice echoing down the aisle. Flight attendants gathered her belongings and security showed up to help. As they escorted her off, she kept shouting that she'd sue everyone. Passengers began clapping, not mockingly, but out of relief. The entire ordeal had lasted nearly 20 minutes. When things finally settled, the flight attendants apologized repeatedly. I reassured them it wasn't their fault. As I sat down, I noticed several passengers nodding at me, some whispering their approval. One even said quietly that it was about time someone stood their ground. The flight took off smoothly after that. But as we cruised above the clouds, I couldn't help but think about how entitlement can make people lose all sense of decency. When we landed, I figured that was the end of it. But the story didn't stop there. A few days later, I got a call from the airline's customer service department. Apparently, the woman had filed a complaint, claiming I assaulted her and stole her seat. Luckily, there was footage from multiple passengers' phones, plus the flight attendant's written report. Not only did her claim get dismissed, but she was also permanently banned from that airline for disruptive behavior. The best part? The airline sent me an apology letter along with a free round-trip voucher for any destination. But the real reward was the message that spread afterwards. Someone had uploaded a clip of the incident online, nothing too revealing, just the audio and a blurred shot of the cabin. It went viral overnight, racking up millions of views. People everywhere were commenting about standing up to entitled behavior. Karen's face wasn't shown, but word brought around. Turns out she was a local socialite, known for her perfect image in her community. Once people recognized her voice, that reputation crumbled fast. In the end, karma handled things perfectly. As for me, I used that free ticket to take my wife on a vacation, far from noisy passengers, delays, and definitely far from Karens. So, next time someone tries to take what's yours, remember this: calm wins over chaos every single time.